SEC power rankings as they are now. Start me off, Caleb. Give me to about 10 or so. And then if you don't have Tennessee number 1, I might just mute your mic.
No,
Or you might
won't.
just mute. Did you just
No,
mute
you
it
won't.
yourself?
No, you won't. You're not going to mute my mic. I'll bet you don't mute my mic.
I always mute your mic. Go ahead.
I'm too important. All right, so I'm sticking with Mississippi State at number 16. And the reason I am is after watching them this past weekend, Tennessee lost Nico Iamaleava. I never saw them play to honestly not win. They just played the whole second half not to lose and still won in a blowout. That's a bad football team.
Yeah, it's a really bad football team. They at one point they ran into each other going in motion. That was bad. Okay, keep going.
Yep. I got Kentucky down at number 15. I still think that Kentucky is just not a good football program either. They had a much needed bye, but that program is struggling. I got Auburn at number 14 and Florida down at number 13. That's my bottom tier after I thought Florida could put up a fight against Texas. Dave, you were right. They didn't. That was an absolute travesty.
It was. But Billy Napier is very detail oriented, so he has the full stat sheet in front of him right now. Who's next, Caleb?
Yes. All right, number 12 is Arkansas. I think that's a bit of a tier above because Arkansas still has a shot at a bowl game, and Tennessee should be Arkansas fans going forward. If they right now they are 5-4. They close out the year against Texas, Louisiana Tech, and Missouri. Louisiana Tech is a likely win. They could beat Missouri, so they could finish 7-5. But so I think they're in a different tier. Vanderbilt's down at number 11. That loss to South Carolina was just the most I should have seen that coming. That's Vanderbilting and reminding you that they're Vanderbilt. And I've got Oklahoma at number 10. And despite having 2 losses, Missouri is at number 9. I mean, Missouri is the Indiana of the SEC because they literally don't play anybody. And they only have 2 losses and they can finish 10-2.
Did you see Eli acting all cocky after the game in his press conference?
He did. I didn't even see that.
That's one of the few guys that, if Missouri called and said, would you like to have Eli on the program? I'd be like, I'm good. The best team in the SEC that is not UT is Texas, Georgia, Alabama, or Texas A&M. You can vote right now on our YouTube poll question. So, Caleb, we get into the top 10. Who's 9?
So number 9 is... Well, Missouri was number 9. I got South Carolina. Number 8 is South Carolina. Dave, we got to have a real conversation about South Carolina now. I mean, they beat Oklahoma 35-9. They beat Texas A&M 44-20. They beat Vanderbilt 28-7. You can say what you want about Shane Beamer's team, but they are 6-3, and they're getting better by the week. And now they play Missouri this weekend.
Yep, I don't back dirty cheaters, so I refuse to agree with that because Shane Beamer's a dirty cheater. Who's next?
So you hate Tom Brady?
He wasn't aware of those balls. All right, who's next?
Okay. Or Nick Saban oversigning. Do you hate Nick Saban and all of his oversigning that he did back in the day when he forced players into prep school after lying to them and telling them to commit to Alabama?
I actually don't have a problem with that. The bigger problem I have with Nick Saban is, you know why he closed media access, right?
Why?
So he could hire all those analysts, and then they're not supposed to be on the field guys, and they would all run out there as soon as the media was told to leave after stretching. That was just an absolute. People talk about that he bought Trans Ams and stuff, and he may have for Derrick Henry, but I'm just telling you that was egregious to the point that every other program in the nation had to copy that, including Tennessee. I can remember leaving a Butch Jones practice and seeing a couple of the analysts that aren't supposed to be on field, air quotes, running out on field, and one of them said, "You didn't see me, Hook." It's like, okay, I didn't.
All right. So who are you rooting for this weekend? Shane Beamer or Eli Drinkwitz? If you hate them both so much.
Ta.
It's not going to happen, Dave. It's not 1990. I think you need to join the 21st century.
All right, who's next? I'm ready.
All right, so next after that, now we get to the real teams. LSU has 3 losses, but I got them at number 7, but they are out of college football playoff contention, and Brian Kelly should really be on the hot seat. I'm sorry, it's his 3rd year. He's got too much talent down there. He keeps choking in big games.
He does, but you know why he's not on the hot seat?
Why?
His buyout is not like Jimbo Fisher or Lincoln Riley, but it is very, very substantial. I'm trying to get the number now. Okay, so his buyout would be, oh my goodness. His 10-year contract, which runs through 2031, guarantees him $95 million.
Jeez. So
that's all
he
that
ain't going
Caleb
nowhere.
could come up with.
He
Not
ain't going
stunning
nowhere.
or unbelievable. Just, geez Louise.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere, man. You got me there.
All right. Who you got next?
All right. So after that, I have got now we got the 6 real contenders. Texas A&M's down at number 6. That loss to South Carolina is still working against them, but they are in complete control of their own destiny. If they went out and finished 10-2, they not only that would include an upset of Texas, and it would not only would it propel them into the college football playoff race, but it would also send them to Atlanta for the SEC title game.
All right.
I'm your huckleberry.
Who's next?
Number 5 is Georgia. They are down to number 5, and honestly, I can make a case for Texas A&M above Georgia after the way they played on Saturday. That was horrible. That does not look like a good football team right now.
No, I think A&M's a better football team. I would have them above Georgia, but not strongly. I could go either way. Who's next?
Yep. All right, so number 4 is congratulations, Ole Miss. I mean, Dave, we thought Lane Kiffin was always going to be the guy that just hit pars and choked in the big games, and look at him coming around and doing what he did over the weekend against Georgia. I mean, give major credit where credit's due.
Well, that was a hammering too. Did you watch the beginning of that game? Jackson Dart got knocked out of the game, and so Georgia scored a quick touchdown, so it was 7-0, and you're thinking the Bulldogs are going to run off with it. And then Ole Miss just controlled the line of scrimmage on the following drive, answered the score, and pretty much dominated for the rest of the game. I mean, that game could have been 30-0.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It easily could have. I mean, and you kept thinking like, all right, Georgia's going to get back in it here. Georgia's going to get back in it here. Not only did they never even give off a sign of getting back in it, Ole Miss was just piling it on.
My other September call, by the way, Jackson Dart. You remember me saying that? He's the best quarterback in the SEC right now.
Yep, you're right. He is. He should be in the Heisman race. So number 3 on my list is I moved Alabama up to number 3, and Dave, you can make a case for them being higher because I know they have 2 losses, and there's 2 other 1-loss teams on here that I have to be put in the top 2. But right now, I think there's a good argument Alabama would beat anybody they played on a neutral field from the SEC.
I still think they could get out coached by a lot of the coaches. I'm not a Kalen DeBoer guy from an X's and O's standpoint.
See, I don't think they'd get out coached. I think they'd get outplayed at quarterback more than they would get out coached.
That's fair that he doesn't have the quarterback that fits the system. You pointed that out, but he's such an incredible enough athlete that sometimes it doesn't matter. He just has great success no matter what's in front of him. Who's next, Caleb?
All right, now we go to the top 2, and Dave can pull his hair out. He can scream. He can cry. He can do whatever he wants, but Tennessee's number 2.
Like that is total bullshit.
No. Tennessee is the number 1 team in the SEC. They're 1 play away from being undefeated. You're going to have Texas at number 1. I see
Texas
that.
Number 1.
But what happened in Texas's loss?
They lost to Georgia?
Yes. And we don't think Georgia's very good. And that was at home. So how you don't have Tennessee number 1 to me is befuddling.
Do you want to play the common opponent game, Dave? Do you really want to play it?
Not deeply. I just want to play it as I don't want to go too deep into it because it gets silly after a while, but Tennessee should be number 1.
What about what Texas just did to Florida versus what Tennessee did to Florida?
Oh, but see, that's way different to me.
How is that different? How is that different? How about this? What about what Texas did to Oklahoma versus what Tennessee did to Oklahoma? How about the fact that Texas also blew out Michigan on the road? Not a quality team this year, but they're better than NC State. I'm sorry. Right now, and I know everybody would favor Texas over Tennessee on a neutral field, and these are power rankings. What do power rankings have to factor in, Dave? Quarterback questions.
Oh,
we don't even know if Imaliava's healthy.
If you want to do that, that's fine. If you want to go that route, that's fine. But you just tell me, what's the worst loss? Arkansas with Tennessee, or is the worst loss Georgia at home against Texas? As we tell you that TristarHatsCo.com, use the promo code HOOK for some great apparel.
Have you seen the latest TriStar Hats Co. product?
TriStar Hats Co. What's that?
You know, those really cool hats, shirts, tumblers, and even license plates with 3 stars like the official Tennessee flag and stripes like the American flag. Pretty patriotic if you ask me.
Ah, gotcha. Seen those. Those are cool. Where can I get them?
Simple. TriStarHatsCo.com. And if you order now, there's 10% on any order $50 or more. Plus, use the promo code HOOKED.
With the promo code HOOKED, you get 10% off. That's hooked.
And don't forget free shipping with any order over $50. Stock up at TriStarHatsCo.com. That's TriStarHatsCo.com. There are plenty of wannabes out there, so make sure you go to TriStarHatsCo.com for the best quality and customer service.
Will do, and I'll be sure to use the promo code HOOKED. That's hooked when I do to save an additional 10% off. TriStarHatsCo.com.
TriStar Hats Co. is a trademark of TriStar Hats Co. LLC. Any use without.
Okay, so would you take the worst loss over the best win, all things even? Because I would take the losses comparison over the best win comparison.
Well, if you point that out, Tennessee's got a way better win than Texas. Texas has nothing comparable to Alabama. Dave, I'm not going to deny this. If you're asking me to do a college football playoff ranking, Tennessee's better than Texas. That's not what a power ranking is. A power ranking is if they played on a neutral field right now, who do I think I'd want to put my money on based on what they're doing right now in this moment?
Okay, and if okay, well then let me ask you this: if is healthy 100%, that's not a question at all. Who would you put your money on?
I'm still leaning Texas at this moment because of the Florida game this last weekend.
Okay,
that's crazy.
All right.
I'm sorry, it just is.
I don't know what.
And also, you're comparing losses. You can't pretend that Arkansas by 1 possession on the road that's still a much worse loss than Georgia at home by 2 scores. It is. I mean, I'm sorry, it is.
Is it really? After what you've seen from Carson Beck over the past 5 weeks?
Yes, it's still after what I've seen from Arkansas too and Sam Pittman. Yes. Now, Arkansas isn't every game. I give them credit for that. But actually, Dave, in most every game. But just recently, Dave, Arkansas played Ole Miss. I think that was their last outing, and they lost 63-31 at home.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
You had tackle issues at the time. You don't have those now. If those 2 teams played, Tennessee should be at a neutral site. Tennessee should be a 3 or 4 point favorite.
Yes, but I also think.
Do you agree with me on that?
Wait. No, I don't. I thought I was talking about the tackle issue. Sorry, in response to that.
Okay.
But I also think that Texas had quarterback controversy that's not there anymore. I think it's very clearly Quinn Ewers at this point.
Yeah, I don't ever think there was a controversy. I just think he was hurt.